Greetings, YouTube. What a crazy day it is. We have seen the forums and my inbox and YouTube and Reddit just explode over the sadly most likely temporary return of OG Scarlet Witch to the top of not just the Scarlet Witch food chain, but gosh, special to damage alert food chain. So many different synergies. But Quicksilver and that new Quicksilver synergy is amongst the top of the list of reasons why, if they're not going to give it to us because clearly they didn't do enough testing and are going to say it's going to cost them too much money, at least give it halfway, you know? At least make her go from doing 50,000 crits to 200,000 crits. Give her a chance to be an Abyss option. Give people who took her to SIG 200 as a 5-star since they still refuse to release her as a 6-star, even though when you go to 6 stars and you scroll down in the coding of the game, well, what do you know? It says the available rarity is a 6-star after the patch was downloaded to begin this month of August, but we just haven't seen confirmation on that. All right, with all of that being said, because who knows where that's going to end. We just know chances are Kabam takes away things because this is why we can't have nice things. I'm a firm believer that the game and the economy of the game has once again changed forever. Now, I get, as my man Dodds Maskinen sent over to me, and I think I'm going to try to pull that up before the end of this video, I get that my screen looks different than a lot of people's screens who aren't yet at least Thronebreaker. But when you go to the Catalyst store now, and I am putting my units where my mouth is in this video, you can get for 660 units 11 Tier 2 Alpha. That is just over the price of what will probably be for me 2 3-stars when I'm hunting Quicksilver next week. Just for over the price of 2 3-star champions, right? Crazy. Over 2 3-stars, you get 660 units worth of Tier 2 Alpha. 2 3-stars or 11 Tier 2 Alpha, huh? I wonder. Let's, again, put our units where our mouth is and invest in all 11. And just like that, suddenly I've got 26 out of 30. But we're not done, kids. Also, it is worth noting in the black ISO market that the best offer, particularly now with this, is not this, but the other one where you can get a fully formed Tier 5 basic for 3 Tier 2 Alpha. How about that? Love that. Okay, back to the video at hand. So 660 units, and then I am going to be cashing in a much more expensive purchase because we're going to go from 660 units to an additional 1,200 units, which yes is 4 featured Cavalier crystals for the max of this week of Tier 5 Basic, which now puts me at a much better amount overall. That is 1,860 units. That's my new goal weekly for this. And you can see I went from like 2 or 3 Tier 5 Basic just a few seconds ago. Now I'm at 8. And crazily enough, 23 Tier 2 Alpha. That is extraordinary to me. Just extraordinary. So, with that being said, let's talk about if you're not Wallet Breaker. Let's talk about if you're not Thronebreaker. Let's talk about you Cavalier players, uncollected players, the like. And I want to give Dodds the Destroyer thank you again for these images. So, Tier 2, what about double the price from 60 to 120. I still think that is the best guaranteed buy, a fully formed tier 2 instead of 25% of a tier 5. 100% versus 25% for essentially the same price. And then, boy, so Cavalier, tier 2 is still your best option. Especially if you have access to the Black ISO store. Now, Uncollected, Uncollected, believe it or not, the tier 4 basic may be your best friend. Really, Uncollected, you've got to push yourself to become Cavalier. I know people roll their eyes when I say that and they say, Prof, it's not easy for me. I have a limited roster and skills and time. I get it. But Uncollected was way outdated for how much Kabam didn't care about you before Paragon. And now that Cavalier is essentially the new Uncollected, it's got to be the minimum goal for people who play this game regularly. I wish I was not the bearer of bad news, but I'm just calling it like I see it. And then, check this out. 90 units for Tier 4 Basic. I mean, Tier 1 Alpha and Tier 4 Basic are by far the best values for this, but just disgusting. Totally worth saving your units for at least this, but especially this. And then, of course, this is back to how my screen looks with the 60 units per Tier 2 and the 120 units for half of the Tier 5. Still crazy to think I get 5 Tier 5 Basic per week when I want, and 6 per week if you count everything else. The economy of the game has officially changed forever. And those of you who are throne breakers and wallet breakers, you benefit the most. So, it's just the reality of this situation. YouTube, thank you for the info. Dodds, Maskinen, even though that's for me. Here we go. Dodds the Destroyer, thank you for the info as well. I must say, this is going to impact all of my grades, all of my Tier 5 Basic, all my Tier 2 Alpha grades. This even impacts my grades on things like Alliance Quest crystals, on things like Alliance Quest in terms of its motivation. I still think if you're a free-to-play player and you feel like it's much more relaxed to not be in an Alliance and to just like grind the arena and do event quests, you're going to be better off if you get to be Thronebreaker or Paragon particularly to just use your units on rank up resources in this store, which it used to be rank up resources were really only regularly possible with Alliance Quest, Alliance War Rewards. But now Kabam is like giving you loners who don't want to be in Alliance, don't want to be online, just want to do your own thing. This is like your dream. This is the happy hermit's guide to playing the game without talking to anybody else. Interesting concept. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.